Today we're going to be taking a look at the HTC 8X. The 8X is HTC's attempt at creating the flagship Windows phone, coming head-to-head with the Lumia 920. The design takes a bold approach to clean lines and striking colors that play well with the operating system's own. Available in blue, black, red and this lime green that could have easily been an 80s prototype for a futuristic phone. We have a 4.3-inch screen at 720p resolution Super LCD 2 display that is of very high quality, yet not as good as the HTC One X display. The top bezel is bigger than another 4.3-inch phones, making the 8X almost as large as the Galaxy S3, which has a much bigger display. On the other hand, the curved edges make the 8X look and feel thinner than it is, as well as quite comfortable in the hand. One thing I particularly disliked was the power button, that is so flush with the case that combined with the phone's height, makes it hard to press most of the time. Inside, there's an S4 dual-core processor at 1.5 GHz, 1 GB of RAM, 16 GB of storage, NFC and an 8-megapixel camera that I'm pretty sure is the same as on the One X. The back camera is decent. I wouldn't class it as one of the best, but it takes pretty good pictures most of the time. The front one has a wide-angle lens that fits more stuff into view than most other phones. The 1800 mAh battery seemed disappointing the first few days, but after a few cycles and adjusting some OS options, it became totally acceptable. As always, software is what matters most. Microsoft has been trying to give Windows Phone marketplace relevance for the last 2 years, and although there is still much work to do, much has been improved in Windows Phone 8. The basics are the same. Our favorite apps are grouped into live tiles that can show information and notifications or be simple shortcuts. To the right, we have the app list. As well as 100 other tweaks, there are some really nice changes to the OS. Live tiles can now be smaller and have more information. Third-party apps can now control the lock screen. There's more camera control and app integration using lenses that can apply different effects. And there's a better keyboard prediction. I've always seen this OS as halfway between Android and iOS, controlled by the manufacturer, yet open to a decent amount of customization, and the possibility for apps to be more than walled gardens. For example, by being able to send pictures from the gallery to a specific app or by letting third-party apps update live tiles every 30 minutes. But Windows Phone's weakest point is also one of its strongest. Live tiles are a great idea, but if a notification arrives, it'll be lost forever unless you have the specific app pinned to the home screen. We need a notification center. I also miss a brightness slider, better battery stats, and a separate volume control for music and notifications. These are the types of things that have been in other systems forever, yet are not here even after 2 years. As for apps, the marketplace keeps growing, although a few classics like Instagram or Spotify are missing, but might appear later. It's still pretty easy to find alternative apps for most things, yet they're not always as good as on other platforms. Microsoft should do all it can to incentivize developers to create apps because it's what will make or break the OS. Users will not invest in an ecosystem that doesn't have the apps they need. As a full package, the HTC 8X is a great phone. It offers all we are used to in a high-end device while being cheaper than other options like the Lumia 920. I would have liked it to be smaller and for the battery to last longer, but it has reawakened my interest for Windows Phone, something I didn't think possible after the disappointing 7.5 release. If Microsoft keeps working on it, 2013 will be a very interesting year for the platform, and HTC can be a winner if they keep supporting it with devices as good as this one. Could I recommend it to anyone? I don't think advanced users with very specific needs should jump into Windows Phone yet. It isn't hard to find alternate apps for most stuff, but they're not always as good. On the other hand, Windows Phone is a breath of fresh air compared to other systems, and the more adventurous users that are bored with the classic UIs might be interested in trying something new. Keeping in mind, it's still maturing and it requires some learning time. Even with its downsides, I think it's a very promising OS, but it'll require hard work from Microsoft to turn it into a viable option for all users. I, for one, will be keeping a close eye.